What is up, everybody? It's your boy Soto here with the Autumn Windbags, doing something a little new. We love doing the good, the bad, and the ugly, a look back at the previous game, but we feel like the midweek show should be more of a update show and a preview show for the next game. So RJ and I decided to make the good, the bad, and the ugly its own show. So that's what we're doing now. Okay, first off, make sure everyone understands that we need you guys as fans, or else we're just here talking to ourselves, which, I mean, I don't like talking to RJ and Rory all that much. So I'd rather talk to you guys. So make sure you guys to like, comment, and subscribe over in the corner over there. Hit that notification button. That way you know whenever a video drops, whenever we go live, you get to see it and hear it first. You can comment live, can comment first to comment on our videos. I try to be as interactive as I can. Good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't matter to me as long as you guys I can stir some kind of emotion in you guys by my windbag opinion. All right. Here we go, everyone. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It was a rough one. So we're looking back at the Raiders' narrow defeat to the hated Kansas City Chiefs. Score of 30-29. We had a chance towards the end of the game. We had many chances throughout the game. Unfortunately, just couldn't get it done. But there were some bright spots. There were some spots that needed to be cleaned up and some other spots that were like, oh, big red flags. So we're going to take a look at that now. We're going to start with the good, like we always do. So the good. Our quarterback had himself a little bit of a day. And this is the type of day that I feel our quarterback should have. The offense was running the ball really well. So 19 for 31, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns, and almost more important than any of all that, 0 turnovers. Again, 0 turnovers. That's what we're looking for out of the quarterback spot. 30, 32, 33 passes tops, 200 and change yards, couple of touchdowns, no turnovers. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we got. So great job there. Moving on. Josh Jacobs, have yourself another goddamn day. Josh Jacobs, if he keeps doing this, he's gonna push himself into a new contract, and I don't know what we're gonna do because we already have so much money allotted to the offensive side of the ball. We're going to have to make some changes because obviously our offensive line needs. Also had 5 receptions for 39 yards. So for you math majors, that is 26 touches for 193 yards. 26 touches, almost 200 yards. He had himself a damn day for sure. So great job, Josh Jacobs. That's the kind of style we need to play. We're getting an identity now of a team. Our offensive line isn't great pass blockers. Colton Miller did a pretty good job pass blocking. Parham struggled a little bit on the inside with Chris Jones, but who doesn't with Chris Jones? He's a great player. We had some issues on the right side of the line pass blocking, but it makes it so much easier to pass block when you're running the ball well. The defense has to respect the play action. Screens are easier to run when you're running the ball well. So great job, Josh Jacobs, setting the tone for the team and the offense. So great job with that. Also, he had a touchdown. I don't know if I mentioned that. Another touchdown for Josh Jacobs. Great work. Moving on to the other good, Devante Adams. 3 receptions only, but 124 yards and count them 2 touchdowns. Could have, should have, would have been more if not for a couple of underthrown balls that were, turned into pass interference. The last play, we'll talk about that later. The potential was there to have more. So This goes to show you don't have to have a ton of targets. You don't have to have a ton of catches to have a big impact in the game. Daniel Carlson, also in the good. This dude, our kicker, is a stone cold sniper. 2 for 2 extra points. He was 3 for 3 in field goals in a hostile environment where they were booing the crap out of him. 53-yarder, 50-yarder, 47-yarder. Money, money, money. All three of them down the middle. No doubt about it. Carlson is a freaking stud. He's worth every single freaking red penny we give him because he's just freaking money. Book it. He's money. Mad Max on the defensive end. Mad Max, another great day. He's been every single week. He's a stat filler. He had 4 tackles, all 4 of them solo, 3 tackles for loss. On top of that, he had 2 sacks. Great job, Mad Max. He deflected a pass. So technically, I guess that would be a pass defense on a big third down play. Great work, Mad Max. Again, bringing the energy all throughout the game. Denzel Perryman, 8 tackles, 6 solo, 1 tackle for loss. Great work there. Deablo had 10 tackles, 6 solo. Nate Hobbs had 9 tackles, also 6 solo. So that's it for the good. The reason why I'm kind of blowing past Perriman, Deablo, and Hobbs is I'm going to talk about them later. The stats were there. We're going to talk a little bit more about their tackling in a few. So you can't have good, unfortunately, without having bad. With that, if there's no bad, then there is no good. So because we went to the good, we got to talk about the bad. Halftime adjustments, offensively and defensively. We went to the half leading 20-10, so a 10-point lead at halftime. We went out in the third quarter offensively, scored 0 points in the third quarter. That's coming out of the half, knowing what the defense is doing to us, knowing how, the game plan coming out, the adjustments coming out, did not work offensively. We couldn't move the ball, didn't score any points in the third quarter, put us in the hole because the defense gave up 14 points in that third quarter, moving the ball much better than they did in the first half. The short passing game took over. You want to talk about Maxx not getting any pressures, not getting any sacks in the second half, or sorry, in the third quarter, excuse me. It's because the Kansas City started to employ a lot quicker, shorter route passing attack, and we were not ready for it. A lot of passes to Sky Moore behind the line of scrimmage, to the running backs, a lot of crossings, a lot of slant patterns, a lot of quick stuff, and we weren't ready for it. We weren't defending it very well. So that third quarter was pivotal in how the game went. When you have a 10-point lead coming out of halftime, and then at the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, you now have a 4-point deficit. That's rough. It's rough. That means not only did your defense not hold, but your offense didn't help your team out by scoring any either. Third down on the offensive end, third down conversions, we were 5 of 12. That may not seem like a very bad stat, but you want to be over 50%. Definitely not under. Those are drive killers, 5 out of 12, and most of that was in the third quarter. Another thing of the bad, our DB tackling was absolutely awful. I feel like we were trying to punch out the ball and strip the ball far too often. And the running backs, the receivers were just getting chunk yardage on us after contact. And it wasn't that we missed some tackles, but it was also that the first guy wasn't wrapping up. That's tackling 101. That's defense 101. The first guy wraps up the ball carrier. The next guys that come in go for the ball. So we had a lot of shoulder tackles and arm tackles that weren't getting the job done. A lot of guys trying to do the peanut punch and punch balls out and stuff like that. It just was a bad look in the secondary. If I had to put my finger on it, possibly we're trying to get turnovers because we knew that we were going to have a tough time slowing, if not stopping, this Kansas City Chiefs offense. So we're trying to create more turnovers, but while doing that, we're also letting ball carriers get chunk yardage after contact. So that was also a part of the bad. Another part of the bad, Trevon Merrick's coverage on Kelsey. Now, inside of the 20s, it's a pretty good job. Didn't do a lot of work. Didn't do a lot of damage. We're in the red zone. He couldn't keep up with Kelsey, and partially was his play, partially was the design. You even saw Kelsey after a touchdown scream out 25. He did that. He mocked Trevon Merrick. I think that was after his second touchdown, and he's basically saying, this guy can't guard me. Why do you have him on me? And honestly, he couldn't. He couldn't guard him. So there was the good, there was the bad. Now we go to the ugly. The first part of the ugly, penalties. 11 penalties for 99 yards. After being the 7th least penalized team in the league and us gushing about, oh, wow, these guys are on board. These guys are not creating dumb penalties for themselves. They're keeping them under control. They're not killing their own drives. That's exactly what we did. We lengthened Kansas City drives, and we killed our own drives by getting these big penalties early in drives. I understand if, let's say, you get a couple of first downs and you get a couple of penalties. Okay, why? Big deal. You still took some time off the clock. When you start off drives with big penalties, you get 3 and outs and you kick the ball right back. It does two things. It gives the ball right back to the offense who just scored on you, and it puts your defense right back out on the field. That's what was happening. We weren't really moving the ball down the field because of these penalties. Really tough. A couple of tough calls. We got a call. We got calls against us. It was a tough night all around. 11 penalties for 99 yards. Basically, we gave him a touchdown, basically. 99 yards. We gave him a whole field for free. That's really ugly. Also a part of the ugly, our late game execution. It just wasn't good. The whole 2-point conversion, Adams incomplete pass where he should have caught the ball but bobbled it. That would have put us in field goal range right there on 3rd and 1. Then the 4th and 1 play where Hunter Renfrow and Adams ran into each other. It's just we're having a really tough time executing at the end of games. We had a tough time in Carolina executing at the end of games. We had a tough time against the Chargers executing with turnovers a lot of turnovers in the fourth quarter. Fumbles against Arizona, and now these 3 plays towards the end of the game really basically stamped out any chance that we had of winning. I'm hearing different reports that it was Adams who ran the wrong route, Adams that got pushed off of his route. Hummer didn't get enough depth or got too much depth, and that's why it created the collision. Ultimately, that's a bad look for our team when we're throwing the ball on 4th and 1 with less than a minute left in a very winnable game, and we're throwing the ball deep, and there's nobody even in the screen when the ball lands on the field because the 2 receivers that were in the route ended up running into each other. That's just a terrible look for us. Stuff that we have to clean up. Hopefully, we clean that up during the bye week. All right. Like I said before, I was going to get back to it. Another ugly, the defensive game plan on Travis Kelce in the red zone. God damn. This fool only had 25 yards, but he had 4 touchdowns. He ran 11 routes in the red zone. 11. He only ran 11 routes. So he was only on 11 pass plays, not counting that shovel pass, but 11 routes actually on the field, and he scored on 4 of them. That is horrendous. I don't know what the game plan was. I don't know what they were trying to do in the red zone with him. It was just something that was, you knew he was going to get the ball and you knew he was going to score. So we got to clean that up. Ultimately, look, I don't think that we're that talented defensively. So it's hard for me to really come down really hard on our defense when I don't feel we're that talented, especially in the secondary. And I feel like our linebackers really don't cover that well. And that's what linebackers need to do in this type of defense. They have some liability coverage-wise. But our secondary is tough, man. they weren't sticking to the receivers all that well. There was some times where Mahomes did throw guys open, which is he's going to do, but you combine the shoddy coverage in the red zone, combine that with the missed tackles and trying to go for the strip and letting guys get chunk plays after contact. It was just a rough game all around. People want to say, oh, well, where was the pass rush late in the game? Well, they weren't holding. Mahomes wasn't holding the ball long enough. He was getting the ball out really quick, and that's something that you do, the 3-step drops, the quick passes, so you don't have to worry about the pass rush. You get the ball out, you know where you're going to go with the ball. And when the guys covering you are giving you a lot of leeway, giving you a lot of space, those are easier to complete. The last part of the ugly, the Devante Adams cameraman scandal. If you guys haven't heard, the cameraman actually has pressed charges against Devante Adams. Here's the way I saw it. I see Devante Adams looking straight ahead, head kind of down, looking straight ahead. A guy runs right in front of him. Now, if Devante Adams keeps walking, Devante Adams bumps into this guy. Okay? It's not like the guy was running in front of him and Devante reached out and ran out and pushed him. Like if Devante just kept walking, he would have bumped into him. First off, what the hell are you doing trying to run in front of a player like that? You don't have, as a cameraman, you don't have a helmet on, right? Your vision is not obscured, and you know where you want to go. So you have to you look around your surroundings. Am I saying that Devante Adams should have pushed the guy? No, I'm not saying that. I don't think he should have pushed him, but you have to understand something. When your peripheral vision is compromised when you're wearing a helmet and you're frustrated, you're walking forward and you see someone flash right in front of you as you're walking and there's nobody else around him. Like it's just him walking by himself and somebody runs right in front of you. The first thing I thought was he probably thought that was a fan, those crazy fans, because the fans out there, they're throwing cans of beer, they're throwing beer at them, they're throwing all kinds of trash on the Raiders players as they're walking off the field. Then you see a guy run right in front of his face. Now, did he have time to check and see if that was a cameraman or not? I don't think he did because it was pretty bang, bang, right? But you can't be running up right in front of people like that. You just can't do that. I feel like Devante Adams may receive some type of discipline. I hope it's not a suspension. I don't think it warrants a suspension, a fine maybe. But what I would say is the guy ran right in front of me. He was going to block my way, so I was going to bump into him regardless. I didn't know what it was. I don't know if it was a fan or what. But ultimately, that was a pretty ugly look. From what I'm hearing on the talk radio shows and the ESPNs and the NFL networks, people are coming down really hard on Devante, and that does sway what the NFL does. They do listen to the chatter. I think that a lot of the people in the media are kind of jumping on this as part of kind of like trying to pile on. I honestly didn't think it was a big deal. Yeah, if you want to fine him. Don't suspend him for this. They would be bullshit. I'm afraid that they probably will suspend him over this, which I think is a shame. I don't think he should be suspended. All right, everyone, that's it. That's all for the good, the bad, and the ugly today. Everyone, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We got a bye week coming up. Hopefully, we iron out some of these things and kind of do like a reset week to get everyone back on the same page, learn from some things that we maybe have some holes, and really hone in on what we're going to use moving forward. I know early in training camp, early in preseason, we were learning everything, right? Everything, a new system, learn everything, use everything, right? Well, you go into the games and you're finding out as a team, we're finding out we can't really use everything right now because we still have to get the basics down right. We're getting more of an identity moving forward, more of a running based attack, taking shots down the field, 32 around there, passes per game, 28 to 32 around there is perfect, I think. More run heavy, get the ball to Jacobs, really use him as our bell cow back and take the shots when we need to. So now I think we're seeing what works offensively, and we know how to really focus on those plays and those types of game plans. Defensively, we just need to get healthy. We need to, again, look at this film and figure out what's working for us and what isn't. When we're giving up a lot of big chunk plays, we're giving up a lot of touchdown, a lot of points. What types of defenses are we running at that time? Stick to what works. Focus on coaching guys up and get ready for the stretch run. By no means is this season over yet. Don't get me wrong. We put ourselves in a mighty big hole, okay? But our next 4 games aren't that tough. We have Houston, we have Jacksonville, we have Indianapolis, and I think the Saints. So those are 4 very winnable games. And then after that, we have, I think, Denver. So those are 5 very winnable games coming up. Let's say, for example, we go 4-1 in those games. So now we're 5-6. We're, not optimal. Let's say, we go 5-0. Now 5-0, we're 6-4. We're where we were a couple of years ago, where we thought we had a good chance to end the season. The thing is since we dropped a couple of games to teams that we should have won or beat earlier, like the Arizona game against the Cardinals and the Tennessee Titans game, there's going to be a couple of games that we thought on our schedule that were going to be tougher, like the 49er game, like maybe the Rams game. Those are games that we have to get now because we gave some easier ones away. Now we got to get these back. So season's not over yet. We still got some time. Keep hope alive, guys, and be good to each other, man. I know that we're very frustrated and we're going back and forth and stuff. I don't mind you guys voicing your opinions on the comments and everything, but remember, we all want the same thing. We all want the Raiders to win. We're all backing the Raiders. We're all family as far as Raiders go. We can fight and all that stuff, but ultimately we have to understand we're all about the same team. All right. So take care of yourselves, guys. This is Soto signing off for the Autumn Windbags. Again, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you guys know when your boys drop a video or a live feed. And we'll see you later on, probably tomorrow or Thursday, for the big show. All right, peace.
Congratulations for making it all the way to the end of our video. If you want Darren Waller to catch 20 touchdown passes next season and for Maxx Crosby to have 30 sacks, go ahead and subscribe and click the next video.